Welcome to this video where I'm going to briefly teach you how to make a simple bar chart in Matplotlib. And here's an example on this Geeks for Geeks website. So to get started, so that code.py is LAKEY, the reference file for this tutorial. And then I'm just gonna manually type it though and explain what I'm doing. So to get started, you're gonna wanna make sure you have Matplotlib installed. So if you do, you can type from Matplotlib import pyplot as plt. And if you don't have it installed, okay, real quick, I'm gonna go comment this out. This is for reference. So now all those errors went away. And as you can see, this is my folder. I already made the first video of this explaining how to make a pie chart in Matplotlib. And now I'm going to explain how to make a bar chart. But anyway, and I'm also going to briefly explain how I made a bar chart of the views that I got on my chess game series, my 10-minute chess game series that I upload to this channel. So just running this code, this pulls up, and I can change the color pretty easily. That color that I just had was actually the exact hex code for chess.com. Then you can also change the theme. So let me print this first. Sorry, I'm getting totally off topic, but I'm going to keep this in the video because when you start messing with multiple takes, it just gets tricky, you know what I mean? Okay, here are the themes. So I'll do dark background. I guess I'm just trying to show you can do multiple themes for these charts. And now let me do PLT. Actually, I'm going to do PLT.saveFig. I mentioned this in the last video. You can just save it as an image instead of opening it. So now it should be here. Okay. Wow. It's nice and dark, and you can still change the color. So it's actually going to override this unless I do barchart2.py. And so now, different color. Wow. Anyway, that was a little bit of a rambly intro. This was just the code that I used to, create that chess game bar chart. So let's learn how to do that. And it's pretty simple, actually. So all you have to do, so I like to start with the main function that you use. So it's actually plt.bar. Remember, we imported this as plt. So, I mean, you don't really have to deal with syntax. You just have to know what to write. But anyway, this takes two main arguments. So it takes the x positions. I'm just going to define a variable called x positions. And it takes the actual heights of the bar, which I'll call them heights, not values. Now all I have to do is make some data. So let's pass in years. So 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. Wow, that is 7 unique years. I guess so, if you count, well, 2026 just started. But anyway, and then for heights, let's estimate the subscriber count of MrBeast at each of these years. Why am I gonna do this? Because MrBeast is cool, and I know a lot about his growth, but I'm probably gonna get these estimates wrong. Wow, I don't know if you guys can hear. There's a lot of chatter in the background because I'm actually in the lobby of a building in a room, a study room that is, so I can record this. But anyway, heights. Let me see, 2020. I'm gonna guess all this, and then we will confirm if my guesses were correct. So 2020, he had, I'm gonna guess, 35 million. So we can actually do heights words, check it, and then we can do heights num, and we're actually going to make it from heights words. So do 35 mil. In 2021 he probably had 75 mil. In 2022 he probably had I guess we'll go with the end of the year. He probably had 140 mil. Pretty crazy, right? 2023, he probably had 200 mil. 2024, he probably had like, you know what? I'm gonna update this to like 230. In 2024, he probably had like 350 mil at the end of it. In 2025, he probably had like, well, it just ended, so actually no, it's like he had like 458 mil. So now all I have to do to convert this into numbers, and it's a lot easier than, you know what, I could have just made this all 3575 and then just made it million later. Like, that's kind of dumb. But you know what, we can also, since I went on that tangent, I'm going to explain how to do it, but then we'll just keep this anyway. So in order to make heights num, I can do for val in heights words, heights num dot append val dot replace. So I'm going to get rid of the mill, I'll replace it with nothing, and I'll also make it an integer. So now gotta make sure all the parentheses line up. Now let me print heights num. So that's my only print statement. I'm gonna run this, and there we go. So now you can, like I said, this was just overkill, but now let's actually plot these so we can see it on a nice bar chart. So all you have to do is pass in X positions and pass in the value. So I'll pass in, actually I think I do need to pass in heights num because it won't know how to graph these, but let's check, right? That's the beauty of code. You can just check and see if something works. Now I'll do plt.show, which shows the chart. So let me run it. And as I thought, there is an error message. I'm not even sure what this error message means, but I think I know how to fix it. So just pass in heights num. Whoa, there is still an error message. Okay, I'm gonna figure out why that is happening. Don't worry, the error was pretty obvious. So there's 7 values here and there are 6 here. So remember I did the subscriber count at the end of the year? So I guess we'll estimate what the end of the year will be in 2026. Let's see if I'm right, guys. Let's guess 550 million. Wow, that's a lot of subscribers. Will his growth slow down, or will it? You know what? We'll go big. He's gonna have 590 subscribers. Let me get like 0.01% of that. What is 0.01% of that? Print heights num of -1, which is the last value, times, and remember heights num is already integers now that we've done this, times 0.01. And then I'll comment. Actually, it'll show as well. Well, if you want the print statement to show up, you have to comment out plt.show. So that is 5.9? What? Oh, that'd be 5.9 million. So I said 0.01%. So I think that's 0.001. Could be wrong. So that's out of, you know what? Then I have to multiply that by a million because this is in units of million. See, coding, it just takes a while sometimes. Okay, what is happening here? You know what? We'll just forget about that and let's show the chart. Wow, this is the chart. So we have 2020, 2021, 2022. So you could pass in another argument here. Wow, you can definitely hear the chatter in the background. Well, I could re-record this later, but I'm not going to because not that many people will see this. All respect to the people that do see this, but I need to focus on getting videos out. You guys understand? Like, I'm a small YouTuber, like I need to get videos out. I can't spend all my time re-recording. So we can consider this peaceful ambiance in the background. Peaceful ambiance. So now we'll pass in a color. So what's easy, you can probably type something like blue. Let's see if this works. Yeah, so it takes some colors, blue, orange, but what's a lot better is you can pass in a hex code. All you have to do is type hashtag, start a hex code. So this is an easy one to remember. That's white. And then you can, what's MrBeast pink? So I searched it up. Let's find out what the hex code is. This is the blue, interesting. And this is the pink. Okay, so I just copy this hex code here. It's interesting how coding has made like everything data. Even the video that you're watching is actually just zeros and ones. Or probably, I don't know, I could be wrong. Nice, so now we have this color here. Let's put some labels on these. So I just said we're gonna put some labels. By the way, I'm recording this in clips, so that's why it might sound like I'm taking a break and then coming back, because that is what I'm doing. So I just said we're gonna put some labels. What I meant is like labels on the top of the bars, but we're also gonna label the axes. So first thing, let's put some labels on the bar. So to do that, I did it this way. Well, I got a little bit of help from AI, but don't worry, I know what's going on here. But anyway, you can do it this way, which this works. Like I can explain zip just combines these lists and then X and Y, it adds the 0.2, or you can do times 1.01 to get it a little higher than the bars, but there's actually this easier way. So all you have to do is make this equal something, so bars, and you just do plt.barLabel bars, and then if I run this, you can see the chart. But you can also format it. So if you type FMT, that means it's a formatter. So I'm gonna first try something and then we'll see if it works. Wow, that actually worked. Now it's time for me to explain why that worked. Okay, so essentially the %D is just a way to specify the number that's already there. So if I just run this without it, right? Just the millions there. And then if I add, instead of %D, let me add like %.01f. So that's like another formatter in Python. Then as you can see, there's one decimal place. And if I do like, this, then there's also still one. Okay, all I had to do was change this. So, 3, then this is here. So basically you can do that. But then I realized you can actually, instead of doing this, but I realized, I read the documentation, you could just pass in labels. So I can do remember I have this heights num, so I can do a list comprehension, which I have a video on list comprehensions as well. So I'll do labels equals num for num in heights num, and then I can actually do some string formatting here. So f sub count, actually that's pretty dumb to put that. We'll just do num mil. So this is kind of a lot easier than you have a specified place to change labels. So I'll pass in labels equals labels. Then hopefully this works. Yeah, it does, and to confirm it works, you can always just do a minor change. Yep, that is definitely working. This video is gonna be kind of a long video. Wow. Okay, and then as for the other labels I just meant like these labels here. So you can do a title, you can do a, X and Y labels, and you can probably do a legend, maybe not with bar charts. So I'm just gonna check and make sure, yep, that's fine. It goes before the plt.show. So now I'll give this the label. The X label is gonna be subscriber counts. The Y label is gonna be, wait. This is subscriber counts. And the X label is years. Then I'll do title, sub counts of MrBeast Beast over time. Nice, now we got this nice title, we got this here, and I'm going to save this as a figure because I'm going to post this on X. See, this is what happens when you talk when coding. Beast.png, beast1, and then I'll comment this out because you can only have one of them, and now beast1 is here. Nice. Now let's add some themes. So pretty sure you can just use plt.style.use. And to see which ones you have, you could print this. So let's do that and comment these out. So these are the styles we have available. And it's good to do this because online it can tell you some different stuff and they might change the names, is what I've, according to me, I could be wrong. So now we'll do theme, and then we'll do plt.style.use, theme, or you can just, write grayscale directly in here. This is just a way to use variables. So now if I do that, and then I do plt.show, oh, great. Okay, I overwrote it, so I'm gonna comment this out. Look, I overwrote it. Or I guess I didn't. What? Okay, I'm gonna do beast2, and I'll do this. Okay, so the charts are exactly the same, pretty much. I'm not too sure. Let me see if I use a different theme, if that will work. So I'm gonna print I'm gonna print the ones that are available. We'll use this pastel one. And then we will run this. What the heck? Okay, don't worry everybody. It was just the color argument. So I had this color here. I just removed it. And then I used this pastel theme. And then I ran it. And beast2 is now with this color. So I thought the theme would change it a little bit more. Is there any other theme? Let me print the ones I have available. Comment that out. What the heck? Comment that out. And we'll use ggplot. Okay. ggplot. Oopsies, gotta put it inside the quotes. Use the theme, save it as beast3.png. And now it is here. Okay, so see, there are themes that actually do stuff. There's like some lines here. Let's try one more. Actually, you know what? Let's do 5 because 5 is a nice number, and I'll post all of them on X. And I'll show them in, well, of course I'm showing them in this video. What other themes do we have? Let me comment this out. Sorry, I'm still a little bit sick. Just a little bit, like not that much. I was sick last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and it's kind of annoying. Okay, so this is with the 538 theme. Yep, it's interesting. So that's what it looks like. Let's do one more theme. So comment this out, run it, and we'll do classic test patch. Okay, I've never used that before. And we'll also pass in color. So let's run it first and then we'll pass in color. So we're on beast 5. Okay, so this is the test patch one, I guess. Let's pass in color and see if that works. So I'm gonna go here, color equals, and then I'll come over here and get the hex code once more. But you know what? This time I'll use MrBeast blue. It's kind of interesting that's his blue. I guess that is the same, yeah. I wonder how he made this logo, you know? It's kind of interesting. You know what? How did MrBeast make his logo? No. History of the MrBeast logo? Okay. So they had this redesign. What? Color palette? It looks the same. Okay, anyway. A panther instead of a tiger? What? It looks the exact same, right? Okay, ears, eyes, nose. Okay, how did he make it? He was actually pretty big by 2018 already. I guess he could have afforded somebody to make it. Wow, the logo is actually a really good logo for MrBeast. I was thinking today how it's a really strong brand identity that he goes by MrBeast instead of, like, imagine he started making content as Jimmy Donaldson. It's like you can do a whole brand around it. He has Feastables, he has Beast Games. Wow, that is the face of a guy who made his dreams come true with a lot of hard work. Okay, sorry for the little side quest there. Let's copy this, go back here, put that in a string, run this, and run this, and there we have it. 5 charts that look pretty similar that are estimating this. And you can also, like I said, this is a long video. I doubt anybody will watch this this far. You can actually do bar H to make it a horizontal bar chart. So we'll just show it this time. And that works. Cool. We'll put the pink back and then we'll save that as MrBeast 6 because why not, right? Why not? So I hope you learned something from this video. I guess maybe about MrBeast. Look guys, I've been watching lots of MrBeast videos from early on in his career and they are pretty inspiring. From like 2016, 2017, and his videos were just fun to watch. He was very authentic. And I mean, his story is very inspiring. I mean, look at this. But you know what's more impressive is 2016 to 2020. Now that chart is cool and inspiring. But yeah, that is the video. Thank you for watching, I guess. Well, even though I just said thank you for watching, I'm going to make a separate video talking about how I made the chest chart because I did not really cover that at all. So that was bar chart 2. Yeah, here it is. I mean, I guess you could kind of tell like what I did. This is just code. Here, I'll make this ggplot, run it. Wow, this is such a long video. It does not need to be this long. But yeah, I just ran this and I made a sorted argument to sort the games. So let me run it true. I'll change this to bar chart 3. And now the views are sorted per chess game. There was a way to do this. It's just with the labels and the data. You know, values. Basically, the ticks are what impact it. And then I just have the X label, the Y label, and the title. So yeah, that's kind of, I need to upload this to the GitHub. Let me show you the GitHub real quick. So this is the GitHub for Widen Your Brain, and I'm just gonna mention it briefly here. I need to put the link to the YouTube and probably like X and Instagram. So this is my X account here. You know what, I guess it's very, very small. And look guys, I like YouTube the most. YouTube is my favorite platform. I mean, seriously, I think YouTube has changed so many lives, and it's a great platform. It works, it looks pretty great. I mean, it has a great history. You can upload videos, you can even upload posts now. YouTube is great, and it's literally just great. But I'm using X to have another place to put stuff, and I'm using Instagram and LAKEY TikTok as well, but nothing as much as YouTube, of course. Yeah, some stuff I post on here that I don't post on YouTube, but most of it, I'm pretty sure you can just find it in the post tab of my YouTube. Yeah, so this I posted on X, this one for sure, like, yeah, I watched this. This was so motivational. Okay, so I'm gonna, I just wanted to show the GitHub, say that I need to put this on there. And I guess I'll make a separate video for this channel real quick, just talking about the GitHub, so people, when they scroll my channel, they'll see like, this is the channel's GitHub on the title, and then they'll know, I guess, that I have a GitHub with absolutely nothing on it. But I did join 3 weeks ago. Damn, time flies. Okay, that's actually it for this extremely long video. Wow, this video was long, and I did yap a lot. It is 11:14 p.m. on January 15th at the time of recording. Probably gonna release it tomorrow, or maybe the 17th or the 18th. Hopefully tomorrow. I really, truly hope you learned a thing or two, and if anybody is watching this, even if it's the year 2034 and you actually watched to this point, literally let me know, because this video's got to be like 30 minutes long at this point. But you know what? I'm going to upload it anyway. Look at all these beautiful charts that we made. Let's upload these all to X right now. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to stop recording first. Thank you so much for watching.